Hi guys, welcome back to Areen the Educator, and I will be continuing this series called Murdered While Pregnant. This is a phenomenon that was discovered when I was in nursing school back in 1989. Some of my teachers who specialize in OBGYN, they were talking about this, where women who were pregnant were at a higher risk of losing their lives. And I am going to be highlighting the cases of women who were dying to have the man's baby, and they were murdered either by him or by someone connected to him. When I think about who is actually murdering the women and they are supposed to be protecting them, it reminds me of the story of Ruth, where Ruth was a Moabite priestess who was murdering kids and idol worship, and she ran into this gentleman named Malone who became her husband. But he asked her a question when she was worshiping the pagan god. He said, how can a god whose head we mend the heads of its soldiers? Something along that line. That answer made Ruth think, and she began to search for the true God. Now I have to ask this question of you as women. Are you really expecting men who expect for everyone else to protect them? Are you expecting them to protect you? Just think about that. Let's get into this disclaimer, and then let's see what Malcolm X said about it. Thank you. Disclaimer: my videos are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Fair Use Act disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. No copyright is intended. All rights reserved.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
The next video is a clip of this tragedy.
Quan Main Boyd is accused of gunning down his pregnant girlfriend in the middle of a Houston street. And tonight, the family of Cavanna Smith is desperate for your help. Her sister telling Melissa Correa an arrest may bring some closure.
Even in short bits of video, we can learn something about Cavanna Smith.
She was a character.
With a zest for life.
She did. She was also the middle child. So she had a little bit of that middle child syndrome.
One of 5 Houston siblings.
She was the balance.
And a teacher.
25 years old.
Working towards her master's in criminal justice.
So youth probation. She had a heart for children.
With one of her own.
She was going to be a mom.
On the way.
June next year.
Older sister Brittany Wilson says she was the first to get the news in early October.
I was excited. I'm like...
Says Cavanna was about a month pregnant when she disappeared the morning of October 6th. Brittany still remembers the text message she got at 6:42 a.m.
And it just read, I'm going to go get my money from Quan. I'm at this location if anything happens.
She says Quan...
She dropped her GPS location.
Or Quan Main Boyd was Cavanna's boyfriend. Hours passed, and the family, who were in
constant
communication with each other, hadn't heard from their sister.
Her vehicle, along with all of her personal belongings, purse, keys to the car, like something's wrong.
Houston police found 25-year-old Cavanna Smith shot to death in the middle of Reed Street, reportedly a few miles from Boyd's apartment. This month, a judge signed off on a capital murder warrant for his arrest.
The day I found out that my sister was no longer here, it felt like the earth opened up and tried to swallow me whole. Grief sucks. And so I'm asking the public, if you see him, to let someone know.
As time passes, Brittany is learning more about the day her sister died. The criminal justice student apparently sent messages to friends, left clues about her possible kidnapping.
She practically solved her own case.
A young woman excited about the promise of motherhood, whose vivacious spirit holds steady in the videos and photos left behind.
Now, I just want to warn you young ladies, because this is something that actually happens quite often. This young lady was very excited to have the baby. She notified this man, and the next day she notified him on October the 5th with the ultrasound and excitement, and he was not excited about the baby, and the next day she was dead. He shot her in the face. Very, very cruel, but this is something that happens a lot. However, he was captured on November the 16th. So they did catch him, even though he murdered her on October the 6th, a day after she notified him on October the 5th. If you like this video, comment and also share it, and definitely subscribe so that you can get notification of the next one, because this happens more often than you think. And it needs to be brought to the forefront so that young ladies can be warned and just look out.